Reporting celeb. Tech celeb.
That's really good to see.
So I flew over 3,000 miles to learn about what Lisk is doing in Africa. But before we get into that, let me share a bit about my first time experience in Kenya. Right from the airport, you can tell that Kenya takes tourism seriously. Their staff are very polite, no one is trying to extort you, and everything just feels very organized. Even the car parking system is automated, simple and efficient, and there is something that really caught my attention. There are so many female drivers at the airport, and even on their boats, you can specifically request for female if you want to. Got to the hotel pretty late and was really exhausted. We had a safari trip planned for the morning around 6 a.m. but I overslept and woke up around 8 a.m. By then, I was already seeing videos from the group chats and everyone was out having fun, enjoying some of the views from the safari. The next video is really one of the most interesting parts of this documentary. We had the founding team, we had the founders, we have the media team, literally everyone playing Baby Shark. 2,
1, sing! Baby Shark. Baby Shark.
One thing I quickly noticed on the streets of Nairobi is how sane the drivers are. No one is trying to run you up the road to prove a point. Everyone is just calm and chilled. And then there's the bypass road. It's basically a toll expressway designed to help people avoid traffic. Think of it like BRT lane in Lagos, but for private cars. If you're heading to the airport or running late for some meeting, the bypass is your best bet, and it's smooth and traffic free. Now to the real reason why I flew to Kenya, Lisk in Africa. We had several sessions with the leadership team where they shared their vision, the roadmap, and what's ahead, including plans to launch a $15 million fund to support innovation on the continent. And at the core of it, Lisk is a growth platform for founders in emerging markets with a blockchain, a fund, and accelerator programs. I had a quick chat with Gideon Graves to learn more about what Lisk is doing in Africa and their approach to Africa's growing tech ecosystem.
The core culture at Lisk, and it sounds cliche or corny, but the core culture at Lisk there's always been a massive belief between the core team and management, which has instilled the whole culture into the company that Lisk can really that blockchain rather can really transform industries for the better. And where the true utility comes from is not in developed markets, where blockchain is sort of like a nice to have. It's in emerging markets, where blockchain is a necessity and can solve very pertinent problems to continents and emerging markets like Africa. So that was the one reason. Second reason was also we wanted to position ourselves on a very specific niche, which is emerging markets. At the end of the day, it also comes down to like plain economics, right? Like the majority of the founders and companies that we back, the odds of success is going to be 10x if they're in a big ecosystem where they can sell their product to a community and to a customer base that they understand and know. So just from a GDP standpoint, if you look at history of where innovation and unicorns have come from, it's usually South Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, and Egypt. Egypt is a little bit sort of detached from the African ecosystem, you could argue, and is more part of like the MENA ecosystem. That being said, we did invest in a startup in Egypt. I have spent some time there. Blockchain regulations are not very favorable there as well to founders in the space. So that has like stifled that part of the ecosystem. But long story short, like great founders, massive countries, a history of innovation, and a big customer base that can be easily replicated as you scale into other countries. So backing a startup in Web3 it's very common that that business model can scale into Kenya and into Ghana and into other parts of Africa.
The most interesting thing about my time in Kenya with Lisk is that it was both fun and filled with work.
This night, we're walking to some place called something kitchen. Nairobi Street Kitchen, yes.
Which was a mad vibe. I tried sushi for the very first time at Inti.
It's not as bad.
We visited Slate and a number of interesting places. I had an interesting time speaking with Lisk's partners, and the first one is Web3 Bridge. Web3 Bridge, located in Ikorodu, Lagos, has been responsible for developing some of the tech talent in the Web3 space, and they are one of Lisk's partners. I asked Ayo, chief mechanic at Web3 Bridge, to tell me more about the partnership and what Lisk is doing on ground.
We have a strategic plan for Africa. We plan to do long term in Africa. We'd like to work with you more. So your goal is, our plan long term is to have builders build on Lisk from Africa. However, we understand funding technical talent. And we know that the only way we can do is to sponsor Web3 Bridge. So what we do is we fund Web3 Bridge to train developers for us. And these developers end up becoming engineers, or also becoming founders who go into the Aya incubation programs. So I think the time they have Aya and CV Labs, and which was actually a very good one, because it makes sense for people to just not learn. So one of the issues we also have is that when people are done learning, what next? So now we don't offer anybody a job. We cannot offer anybody a job, but then at least it gives some sense of comfort that, okay, so guys, when you're done learning from here, you can decide to do this open source part, work with, but then we have a sure guarantee that if you build a product within the cohort, you can get into the AyaHQ incubation by Lisk or CV Lab incubation by Lisk. I think so far we've had about 6-7 products go through that route, and which is actually a very good one. So that is what Lisk is doing, and that's why we are also very bullish about it, because it's like a partnership that works. It's not like a partnership that is. I think our deal with Lisk was signed over 3 cohorts and extended to 5, because it shows that they're actually committed to Africa. Like when we're finishing up our garage, we just finished. We have 4 facilities in Ikorodu actually. Yeah, we have an hostel that could take 200 people sleeping in, and we just finished our garage. Garage is meant to be like a workspace where people come. So we have 5 halls in it. 400 person can learn, live, work together at the same time.
It's a campus.
Actually, it's a campus. It's a campus. We are hoping to extend to 700 people by 2027. Wow. So all of this has been in the last 2.5 years. So 3 of them belongs to us. 1 of them is rented, because we have a clinic, we have kitchen, we have all of this, all of those. So when we're finishing up, I remember speaking to Dominic, and Dominic was like, we know we have a long partnership with you guys, but how else do we think we can support you guys? I was like, okay, so in the support part, we like for our developers to have more access to this and that, and also we're finishing up this building, and okay, so we've raised all of this fund from grant and all, but then we're at this point where we need to finish up, and okay, what do we need? This is what we need. Okay, and gracefully, the fund was provided.
Lisk supports founders and their startups through incubation. They have 2 incubation on the African continent. They have Aya and CV Labs. I got to speak with the guys at Aya, and here's how the conversation went.
Last year, we got introduction to Lisk from an ecosystem partner that believe in what we are doing, and we had a conversation. We told Lisk was like, we actually want to focus on Africa. And we're like, how do you want to focus on Africa? We've seen protocol come, and all they were looking for is TVL, perhaps just do some meetups and maybe sponsor hackathon. But even the hackathon, just maybe 2,000, 500, 5,000. So those hackathons do not attract quality builders, because for me to spend my time to do hackathon, it must make sense. And if you're sponsoring hackathon $500, $2,000, $2,500, obviously you may not get the right people to actually build solutions that actually make sense. So how do you want to come to Africa? They were like, look, we don't want to come as saviors. We don't want to come with the Western way of, we know it all, we have the technology, just dump on us, use. We really want to understand Africa. We want to understand what's going on. And so we have seen what you guys are doing as incubation run partner program. Can we do it together? And so we came up and then we designed a model called the Lisk incubation program. So we ran the first incubation last year, September, and we had over 150 applications from 30 plus countries in Africa and beyond. And we screened and selected, and we graduated, 12. The program is 4.5 months, both virtual and in person. So we do 2 weeks in person, and I has 2 facilities in Ghana and in Kenya. It's a residency and co-working, 30-bed capacity in Ghana in Kilifi. So the first cohort we ran off in Kilifi in January this year with 12 projects. And those 12 projects, Lisk funded 6 of them. Those 6, 2 of them from 3 from Kenya, Nigeria, Digitpay, who is here, CoinSafe, Learnway in Ghana, Fiascent in Ghana, 6 of them. So this program has now kind of defined what the ecosystem is beginning to look like. Before that, there's no protocol. I want to repeat, no protocol in the world ever saw Africa as a value builder. You only saw us as airdrop farmers, meetup, hackathon of 5,000. So the Lisk incubation program is actually the first kind of clear, intentionally built, structured process to actually finding the right young people who actually have audacity to build. And now it has actually become a model that almost every protocol is copied today. For us at Aya, we are happy.
I had one question for the founders. Why are you building on Lisk?
I decided to build on Lisk because it's one of the best blockchains out there. They are very intentional. The team is very strong. The tech is also strong. Being on the OP stack is one of the best things you can have. The interop is beautiful. They also allow us to be able to experiment a lot, and they are supporting us greatly. Thank you.
I am building on Lisk because of it's actually a human layer blockchain that's actually very concerned on real world solution in the emerging market. And also one thing that we actually prioritize in the beginning is actually staying in the Ethereum ecosystem, and Lisk actually proposed a low gas fee and high frequency chain that we could actually build on top of. And also they actually offer a lot of support outside the whole technical part of things, whereby they make you introduction to support systems that can actually help you in regulation, support system that can actually help you in product market fit, support system that can actually help you perfect your product that you're actually building for the real market. So they are not chain that only focus on the technical part, they actually focus on the main product you're building for your users actually.
I think one key thing I would say about Lisk is it's hard to find blockchains where you can send the CEO a DM, right, and he would respond, right? You can easily like DM Dominic and say, there is a challenge we are facing. If it feels like they are very close, right, and they listen, you can easily share your thoughts and they would work on it, right? It's very easy. You can talk to Chidubim. She's quite very cool to have a chat with, and the information will get to the necessary people. And they have another thing that I think why we chose them is, we went through the incubation program, and they have partnership with that incubation program as well. So that's played a very key role. Another thing is the speed of their chain, 2 seconds transaction time, and it's cool. It works better for us.
So why Lisk? Lisk, to be fair, Lisk is the blockchain has been there for a while, but then they just started, they came back again and they came with the initiative of basically supporting founders, and I think that's where we align. Because in this ecosystem, there's kind of like a lot of noise, but they came with like a very clear goal of being part of founders' journeys. And another thing is like they were not very, fixated on, you must build on Lisk. It was just about making sure there is very good support for founders like myself, right, and products. So that's basically why. It's that easy.
Yeah. So we made an interesting visit to the streets of Nairobi to check out Swiped. Swiped is built on Lisk and it powers merchants on the streets of Nairobi. We visited one of their merchants to see Swiped in action.
No, it's very easy. We have 3 shops. It makes it a bit easier for us. We have a cosmet and another ready-made and here, and they're all in one place. So when people pay, it comes to one phone, so it's easier to do the reconciliation.
So what we've enabled her to achieve is, you see that poster over there, swiped. That's something that has never been done before. This is an offline payment system. So for users in Kenya, local merchants local users, they are fond of using M-Pesa pay bills to make payments to business. Like that one there. Like that one there for M-Pesa, yeah. So that one, swiped, we made it customized for stable coins to fiat. Yeah. So whenever a user comes and pays her, they can scan, pay directly to her wallet, or they can just put key in the pay bill, her account number, and pay in fiat, and then she receives in stablecoin USD.
You pay via like M-Pesa and,
Via M-Pesa.
and stablecoin.
Yeah. So these are for guys who they don't like using internet to make payments. And also she can be able to prompt you through your number. So if you have an M-Pesa number, she will key in the number and prompt you the exact amount you need to pay, and it will go directly to her wallet. Yeah.
So she'll receive the exact equivalent of USDT in her wallet for every payment. So I think about USDT, but then offline USDT payments.
And then from her wallet, she has the freedom to either withdraw to her phone number or her bank account, whichever that she wishes. Yeah.
I had a quick chat with the leadership team at Lisk. I spoke with Chidubem, Georgia, and Dominic.
Hi, my name is Chidubem, and I'm the ecosystem lead for Lisk in Africa. So about supporting founders, literally everything that Lisk does is to provide the support, the resources, and the infrastructure that founders in high growth markets like Africa, Southeast Asia, and LATAM need to build and scale, right? So we do this across like multiple ways. So, one of which is capital, but a lot of it is also, hands-on support, mentorship, just understanding the technicalities and nuances of the markets, working with some of the best, accelerators, incubators, VC networks in these specific markets, right? To ensure that every single thing that founders need. So that could be, across the operations or even like regulatory bodies or even marketing, media support. All of these things are made so much easier for the founders.
When we started the Lisk journey in Africa, we enrolled with partners like AyaHQ and Web3 Bridge. And through them, we were able to learn that the most important way to support a founder is more than just money. It's having a network and a support system that holds their hand every day and reminds them, you're choosing this path, yes, but you're not alone on it. And we're going to support you all the way.
I think the one thing to take away from building a Lisk is that we're building a comprehensive ecosystem that supports founders kind of from getting started all the way to raising serious capital. And we do that all kind of in a very personable way. We really care about the people we work with. We build long-term relationships. And I think that's apparent from everybody you talk to who's already in the system. So come build with us and you won't regret it.
Karibu. The single message that resonated with me spending time with these founders, the team, and learning about Lisk is that the team actually cares. They care about the founder and the success of their products. And they also recently just launched a $15 million fund. I asked Gideon, the head of investment at Lisk, how African founders can tap into this fund, and he shared with me.
So let's talk about the fund now.
So we've already invested in 4 companies, $15 million fund, focused on investing in Web3 startups in emerging markets. Love Cash is one of them, the one that I mentioned from South Africa. IDRX, which is a stablecoin in Indonesia. Sigrify, which is tokenized bonds. And then Africa Bell, which is based in Africa and is in agri-tech.
So it's sector agnostic?
Sector agnostic. The common denominator is real use cases, Latin America, Southeast Asia, Africa, and Web3, and early stage.
What's the average ticket size?
100 to 500K.
Oh, interesting. If I have a startup and I want to tap in, what's the approach?
So it depends on the stage that you're in. So we have quite a long funnel for our fund. So the first part of it is that if you're really early, you can join one of our incubation programs.
Right.
So we have 7 that we fund all over the world, in Vietnam, and Indonesia, and South Africa, and Kenya, and Argentina. The call to actions are like across these markets. So they will take you through a process. You'll get access to some capital, and then you basically are in our pipeline to consider for a big investment through the fund. If you are more mature and you already have some product market fit and some basic month-on-month growth or traction, then we would consider it as a direct investment. And of course, you can go into our website and just click the apply button.
So you've made it to the end of this video, and my last message for you is that if you are building on a blockchain in Africa, then Lisk is your partner for success. Cheers, and see you again in another video.